Hey, I'm Scotty, and I've been asking myself, what is the perfect drawing speed for loose and expressive line work? Well, today I want to encourage you, dispel some myths, and help you find your perfect drawing speed. While I go in depth into this topic, I'll be filling up my sketchbook spread here by sketching 5 people from observation. I'm especially focused on my line speed, and I'd be interested to hear if you think I'm sketching more slowly or more quickly than I usually do. Okay, so I've made this graphic to better explain what I'm talking about, and then I've got 3 practical tips for you. When most people start out, on the left here, drawing as beginners, they start at a slow end of the scale. Beginners are learning the basics of eye-hand coordination and capturing the look of a subject the best they can. They aren't concerned with line quality and character as much as accuracy. So getting the proportions of the face correct, or the right length of the body, or the perspective of a building are the first steps everybody should be working at the beginning. In this learning stage, the line work might be rigid and tight. The expressiveness you might be aiming for, or the style you have in mind, might be lacking. It's one of the most common comments I've heard from my students. But I want to say to you that all the fear of mistakes and slow carefulness is completely normal and a stage that all artists need to go through. You're learning the foundations which you can build other skills on later. Your brain actually needs time to think while it's drawing until you develop some of those thought processes into your subconscious. It's a bit like when you learn to drive a car for the first time. There are so many movements that your body has to coordinate to drive safely, faster, and also smoothly. The same goes with drawing. The more you develop, you can then look to concentrate on new skills like line quality and style. So the advantages of drawing slowly are more accuracy and control. The disadvantages are rigid and tight line work. Okay, so that's slow sketching. Embrace it if you're there. At the other end of the scale, we have fast, loose, and expressive sketching. We all want our sketches to be fun and expressive, and drawing quickly can be a really great way to achieve this. Once you have those fundamentals that we talked about, and you've built your confidence. But with this comes a warning when taken too far. When I started sketching, I watched many great artists sketch and formed this belief that the faster I sketch, the better, which in turn put a huge unrealistic pressure on myself to never sketch slowly. I would get stuck, feeling like I couldn't sketch anything correctly, which led to a lot of frustration. I wanted loose line work, but didn't like the messy result. This was because I moved into that extreme speed zone beyond my skill level, where I was giving up too much accuracy and control. I can relate this to sport, so stay with me. I like 10-pin bowling, and I was playing with some friends, but I was playing very poorly to start with. My reaction was to speed up my arm swing and bowl even more powerfully. Really put some effort in and smash those pins over. But to my frustration, I bowled with less accuracy and control, so it went really badly. I watched young children roll a ball between their legs and get strikes. I tried taking a bit of pace off my swing, concentrating on controlling my whole body and not worry if I was bowling slowly. Didn't matter what it looked like. The result was actually amazing, and everybody was saying that I'd been hiding my talents. So I believe this is the same for drawing. Extreme speed is not necessarily the answer to better line work. So the advantage of drawing quickly is looseness and expressiveness, but the disadvantage is that you lose accuracy and control. Okay, so this leads me to my main point I want to say before I give you 3 practical tips. Find your own balanced drawing speed. Start at the slow end of the scale. Build your skills. Add speed and looseness as you develop, but don't feel pressured to draw too fast. Stay in the speed that's right for you. You'll know if you're sketching too fast, if you start to get frustrated with control and accuracy. And on the other hand, you'll know when it's time to sketch faster if the most thing you're concerned about is that your sketches are too rigid. And everyone has a different context, what they're sketching, what they're drawing, and the type of style that you're going for. What's controlled for me and what's loose for me might be too fast for someone else. So the sketch I'm doing here is very slow to me. I'm not sure if it's obvious to you as it is to me, but that's why I asked in the beginning if you noticed. I'm giving myself more time to look up at the reference, compare shapes, find the right curves, but keeping the lines fast enough to include character and expressiveness. If you have a different style of technique, you might need a bit of a different speed to this. So I want to encourage you to find that right speed where you feel comfortable and not just emulating someone else's speed. Now for 3 practical tips for great line quality, which can really help you develop faster and more loose sketching. Okay, so number 1 is grip. Hold the pen with a medium pressure, so not too firm or soft. Also try sliding your fingers away from the tip. Put them somewhere in the middle of the pen, like how I've been holding the pen in this sketching session. This loose grip can reflect in very loose line work. So number 2 is your arm movement. Another technique is to mostly move your arm from the elbow, but lock your wrist. But there could be exceptions for when you're doing small details like the eyes and the nose. So you don't always use this, but in most of the line work, use your elbow. And avoid resting your hand firmly against the page. This gets you away from tiny scratchy strokes that bunch together. Moving from the elbow helps you with longer flowing lines. Number 3, character. You can see here that my line work has a nice bold quality to them. The time I'm giving each line lets more ink out onto the page, which increases the line quality. I'm letting the lines wobble a little bit and I've got some random imperfections which give it a lot of character. These kind of characteristics to your line quality really happen over time as you develop as an artist. So in the beginning you're focusing on accuracy of your characters or your people or your buildings, and then you develop slowly when you get confidence these kind of characteristics to your line work. So don't put pressure on yourself to add these in now. These are things to develop slowly as you get confidence. So whatever skill level you are at the moment, I encourage you to find your own speed that is a really good balance just for you. It does take a bit of time to develop this, but with a lot of practice, you'll see great improvements. I hope this subject has been helpful, and I'd love you to let me know by leaving a like or a comment. If you want to sketch along with commentary to these references, this whole sketching video, this full sketching video, I think it's about 30 minutes, where I share all my thoughts as I go in my sketchbook. I'm going to be popping that up on Patreon for my members there. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.